Welcome to the Q billing system. This video will provide an overview of ICD-10 and will show you how to enter a claim using the ICD-10 code set. You will also learn the differences between entering an ICD-9 and ICD-10 code set and the rules that apply to using them. Here is what the screen looks like for entering a claim in the Q billing system. Notice that this is the area where you will be selecting whether to enter an ICD-9 or ICD-10 code set based on the date of service. We will cover the date of service rules later in the video when you learn to enter a sample claim. Now that you have seen what the entering a claim screen looks like and know where in the claim you will be selecting ICD-9 or ICD-10 based on the date of service, it is important that you first understand the background of ICD-9 and ICD-10. By knowing the background and differences between ICD-9 and ICD-10, you'll be able to more efficiently enter a claim. First, let's review what ICD-10 is. ICD-10 stands for the International Classification of Diseases, 10th edition. It is a standard for diagnostic classifications. On October 1, 2015, ICD-10 replaced ICD-9, which was the previous set of diagnostic classifications used on all claims. The ICD-9 code structure was in place for 30 years. The terms currently used in ICD-9 have become outdated, obsolete, and inconsistent with current medical practices. In addition, the structure of ICD-9 limited the number of new codes that can be created, and many ICD-9 categories are full. The ICD-9 and ICD-10 structures were created by the World Health Organization. Every industrialized country in the world is now using the ICD-10 code set. The governing organization in the United States for ICD-9 and ICD-10 is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, also known by its acronym HHS. We will tell you where to find more resources about ICD-9 and ICD-10 at the end of this video. It is helpful to describe the differences between ICD-9 and ICD-10 to prepare you for entering claims correctly in Q. While there are many differences, we'll review the major differences that will help you understand the background of entering a claim. Here is a diagnosis code set comparison which shows the differences between ICD-9 and ICD-10 side by side. We will highlight the differences from left to right, starting with ICD-9 and followed by ICD-10. Let's begin. ICD-9 codes are 3 to 5 characters in length. ICD-10 codes are 3 to 7 characters in length. ICD-9 has approximately 14,000 codes. ICD-10 has approximately 68,000 codes. The first digit of ICD-9 may be alpha or numeric, and digits 2 through 5 are numeric. The first digit of ICD-10 may be alpha. This indicates the category. The second digit of ICD-10 is numeric. And the third through 7th digits in ICD-10 can be alpha or numeric. ICD-9 has limited space for adding new codes. ICD-10 is flexible, giving space for adding new codes. ICD-9 lacks detail. ICD-10 is very specific. And finally, ICD-9 lacks laterality, while ICD-10 includes laterality, which are codes to identify such things as left or right. We'll give you a moment to review the diagnostic code set comparison one more time. Here is a visual example of the difference between an ICD-9 code set and an ICD-10 code set. Look at the visual for a moment. What do you notice? As you can see, the diagnosis completed for ICD-10 is much more specific than ICD-9, even indicating that the fracture of the shaft is on the right. You probably also noticed that there are 16 possible codes for a femur fracture in ICD-9. And as you can see, there are 1,530 possible codes for a femur fracture in ICD-10. Lastly, let's draw your attention to the bottom of the graphic. You can see what the diagnosis code might be in ICD-9, 821.11. And finally, the ICD-10 code might be S72.351C. Remember that the ICD-10 code always begins with an alpha character. Now, using what you've learned in the video so far, let's go to the Q system and enter a new claim. From the landing page in Q, go to the Patients tab and click Patients to find the patient for whom you want to enter a claim. In the search fields at the top of the page, begin by entering the patient's last name and first name. Then click Search or press Enter on your keyboard. When the search results appear, click on the patient's full name in the list in order to go to the Patient Details page. Be sure to click Edit at the top of the screen, which will enable you to enter a new claim. On the Edit Patient page, scroll down to the Claim section and click the Add Claim link. Start by entering the patient name, policy name, and the office and provider. Since this patient is already in the system, you can just click the drop-down menu options for each field. Next, scroll down to the Line Item section and click Add Line Item. Here, you will add the DOS or date of service. You'll notice that under the ICD coding field, you must select one of two different options, either ICD-9 or ICD-10. ICD-9, which offers 4 data fields, is only to be used when the claim's date of service is on or before September 30th, 2015. Remember, ICD-9 is used only for claims with a September 30th, 2015 date of service or prior. Now let's enter the code you would see on an authorization. In the first available field, we'll type in the ICD-9 code for open fracture of shaft of femur. You will notice the codes are already populated in the Q system, so you will most likely only need to use this one field. The remaining steps are to validate and submit the claim, which we will see in detail in the next example, entering a claim using an ICD-10 code. As we did in the previous claim, fill out the patient name and other information in the search fields and click Search. This time, under ICD coding, select ICD-10. You will see 12 fields become available on the screen. However, since the codes are pre-populated, again, you will most likely only need to use one. Unlike ICD-9 codes, ICD-10 codes are to be used only for claims with the date of service of October 1st, 2015 or later. Remember, ICD-10 is used only for claims with an October 1st, 2015 date of service or later. Note the ICD-10 code here. Back in Q, in the first available field, type in the ICD-10 code until you see the correct code populated in the list. Once you have successfully entered the ICD-10 code, scroll to the bottom of the screen to validate and submit the claim. As you can see, submitting a claim using the ICD-9 or ICD-10 code set is simple, as long as you follow the date of service rules and enter the correct code provided by the prescribing physician. At the beginning of the video, we noted that there are other resources to learn about ICD-10. The best and most plentiful resource is Medicare and Medicaid Services and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, also known by its acronym HHS. This website has the most up-to-date information related to using ICD-10. This concludes the ICD-9 and ICD-10 instructional video. Thank you for watching and enjoy using Integra's Q billing system.